Okay, I do have to apologize for in advance for when you listen to these recordings because I have a loud voice and I project pretty well when I'm up here, right? So I'm walking around and you guys can hear me, but then I'll sit down and I'll talk at the same volume and it'll be like that. So I apologize. I think I might get one of those Britney Spears headsets so that I can walk around that. Okay, so let's talk about galleries that you might want to put on your website. So I'm going to go to my website that I made for this class. You guys will remember this. And we'll talk about adding what are called plugins, which are additional pieces of software you can add to WordPress that will enhance and extend the abilities of your website. So what I'd like you guys to do is go to your websites and log in. You might have to break out that little login sheet, or we could just keep hitting up Nusharet for her login sheet like we've been doing for the last hour. Okay, now once you're at your website, you should be able to log in. If you don't see a login link on the front page because we've kind of messed it up, you can always log in by going to the name of your website. It's going to be dreamco.org/student something, and then put another slash and put wp-admin/ and hit enter. And that's going to take you into the dashboard. Now, now that I'm thinking about it, one of the first things we should do to make this easy on you in the future is put this link in the footer of your website so that you'll always be able to easily log in, right? So once you've done this, once you've put that in, go ahead and highlight it in your in that box, the address box up there. If it's not showing, then go ahead and type it in. Highlight it and right-click on it and click copy. Basically, I want you to get the address for your dashboard copied. Okay? How are we doing? Is everybody there? Okay. So then, I got to remember to talk quietly because I'm right here in front of the computer. Okay. So now I'd like you to go down to where it says Appearance on the left-hand side and scroll in the drop-down menu, scroll down to Editor and click on that. Okay. What are we using? 2012? Okay, so you guys should see a big long list of files on the right-hand side. Is that correct? Okay, so scroll down until you see one called Footer. In blue, click on that. And then in this window, you are going to want to scroll down until you see this section right here. At the bottom, it says div class equals site info. You guys all see that? Okay. Yeah, you're in the footer, right? And then there's a little piece of code that says div class equals site info. Now underneath that, there's a bunch of code that I'd like you to highlight, and I want you to highlight it all the way down to where I've highlighted it, so it's basically 5 lines. Now what this is, and I'd also like you to notice this, it says div class equals site info, and then down here where the div ends, this is the closing div for this site info section. There's also what's called a comment that shows you that this is the end of the site info section. So they show you a beginning and they put a little comment in to show you that it's the end. So essentially what I'm asking you to do is highlight everything inside of this div, not including the div tags, and then I would like you to hit your delete key. Okay? Now I would like you to type a left angle bracket and then type A space href equals quote. So what am I making here? A link. Okay? Is it the missing link? Okay, here we go. So then do Command V to paste in the URL of the dashboard. Hold down Shift and hit your quote. And then hold down Shift and hit your end angle bracket. So we've done the first part of a link. A means link, right? And that's true in CSS too. href stands for reference, and that what means where you're going, you know, the URL. So href equals, and then in quotes, URL. And then we close the tag up. Okay, now I want you to type the words site space admin. Then I want you to type a beginning angle bracket, a /, an A, and then an end angle bracket. So what's that little tag? It's the end link tag, right? So angle bracket / A, close angle bracket is the end tag for the link. Okay, so now what I'd like you to do is scroll down to the bottom of the page and click the blue Update File button. Now after you've done that, go up to the top left corner where it says the name of your site and click on it to visit your site, and scroll down to the bottom and you should see some text down there that says Site Admin, and it should be a link. You can click on it, and with any luck it'll take you to the dashboard. And then you can click the back button to get back to this. So now, from now on, you won't ever have to put in WP Admin at the top there. You can always go down to the bottom of your footer and click on that, and it will take you to the login screen. Okay? I generally do that with all my sites. Okay. So now that we can log in, I'm going to leave it up to you guys if you want to, which way you want to work. I think I've told you in the past that you can have your website open in just one tab and then click back and forth on this link to get to the dashboard and back to the front, or you can have it open in two tabs and have one display the front page of the website and one display the back. I prefer two tabs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here, and I believe I still have this in my paste buffer, so I'm going to click my plus symbol here to create a new tab. I'm going to paste in the website address for my dashboard, and now in one tab I have the front end of my website, and in the other I have the dashboard, the back end. So I can just go back and forth between these instead of hitting that back arrow all the time. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the tab where I have my dashboard. Now I'm going to roll over the word plugins on the left hand side, and then I'm going to come down and roll over Add New. Now in the search box here, I'm going to type next gen, all one word, space gallery, and then I'm going to hit search plugins. Okay, so when we do that, we get a list of all the plugins that have the name Next Gen in them. The top one is the actual gallery. Just a little reminder here, when you're looking at plugins, you can read a little description on the right hand side. You can see their star rating in the center. You can see what version they are, and if you'll go over and you'll click on the word details on the left hand side, it will give you information about this particular plugin. Now I'm very picky about my plugins because I have spent a lot of time, I've wasted a lot of time with crappy plugins, okay? Because there's, you know, anybody can write a plugin, right? You know, your sock monkey could write a plugin, right? Yeah, actually it would probably be better than some of the plugins I've used. So, you know, WordPress does vet or validate certain plugins, but they can't get to them all, so you never know if it's going to be any good just looking at it or reading the description. However, if you click on details, you can see this information here, which is vital. This will tell you how often the plugin is updated, when was the last time it was updated. If it's over a year, then you might be a little bit concerned, right? This one was updated 3 months ago. It also tells you what version of WordPress it works with, because WordPress is updated all the time. And here's a key one: how many times it's been downloaded. How many times has this plugin been downloaded? More than 9 million. That's a good sign. If the entire state of Iowa has downloaded it, it's a good sign. Okay. I'm not sure. I don't know if there's 9 million people in Iowa. Does anybody know anybody from Iowa? Okay. I don't think there's any. I don't even think Iowa exists. I think they just had an empty space on the map. All right. So also look at your ratings. We've got 4 stars out of 3,000 ratings. That's pretty good. Okay, so if we want to install this plugin, we click on the blue Install Now button in the top right. There's always 2 steps to installing a plugin. You click on the button to install it, and then it installs it. It literally grabs the software off of WordPress's site and installs it on your server. And now it's installed, but it's not actually running yet. To get it to run, you have to click the Activate Plugin button. So we'll click Activate Plugin, and now your software will be installed once it's done turning it on. Now, the better plugins, the sort of more sophisticated plugins, will add a button to the left-hand side of your screen, to your tabs. And if you look down here at the bottom, you'll see that now you have a gallery button. Okay? And some of them, instead of adding a button to your screen here on the left-hand side, they'll add a tab underneath the settings button, right? So, for example, if I had added a different sort of plugin, instead of having a brand new button here, I might have to roll over settings and see another word down here. Like you can see Google Fonts in mine, or you probably can't see it. It's very low. I don't know how to get it any higher. Let me see if this will work. No, my dashboard's not getting any higher. But anyway, you can see that, let's see, under settings, I have this thing called Google Fonts. Oh, there you go. It's a plugin that I installed, but it's not really sophisticated enough to have a button, so it's just down here in settings. Now, sometimes plugins won't have a button, or they won't have a button, and they won't even have a listing down here. And then you'll be like, how do I find out more about this plugin? Well, you simply go to the Installed Plugins section, and you look over here, and there will be links that will sometimes take you to the settings, and sometimes take you to the site for the person who created the plugin and give you information about how to use it. A lot of these plugins work great, but they literally give you no information on how to use them, so you have to sort of dig for it. Okay, so we have created a gallery here, or I'm sorry, we've installed the gallery plugin. Now it would behoove us to see how to use it. Okay, so in order to use it, we're going to need at least, let's say, 2 images. So let's open up another tab in our browser here, and let's go to Google, and let's search for a topic, anything that interests you. We're going to get a couple images. So I'm going to do something really different. I'm going to do trains. Okay, I'm going to click on images. And all you need are a couple images here. It doesn't matter how big they are. I'm just going to right-click. Well, I'm going to get a big image just because I want to show you the difference between what's called a blow-up and the thumbnail version. So I'm going to get a big image. I'm going to right-click on it. I'm going to do Save Image As, and I'm going to save it on my desktop. And I'm just going to make it easy on myself. I'm going to call it 1.jpg so it's easy for me to find. I want you to get 2 images, whatever you want. And now I'm going to get a second image, and right-click on it, Save Image As, and I'm going to call this 2.jpg because it makes it easy for me. Okay, after you've downloaded a couple images to your desktop, go back to your Plugins tab here, or to your WordPress dashboard tab, and come over to the left and roll over the gallery button, and then come over to the right and click on Add Gallery/Images. Okay, so now we have this page here which says that we are going to create a new gallery, right? In the box to the right of where it says Create a New Gallery, go ahead and click in that little box and type the name for your gallery. So I'm just going to call mine Trains. Then click the Add Files button, and then go to your desktop and highlight the images that you want to upload. You should be able to, let's see, you're on PCs, Control click on more than one, or Control Shift click on 2 of them if they're right next to each other. To get them both, click on Open. Both of the names of the files should appear in your window, and then you would hit the Start Upload button. And if they're fairly small files, they'll upload pretty quickly, and you'll get a little signal here, a sign will come up and say that they were uploaded successfully. And you can close that if you want. How we doing? Are you guys, have you uploaded your files? Yeah? I want to make sure I'm not going too fast. Okay, so now we have added, we've created a gallery, we've added a couple of images. Let's go over to the left-hand side and let's click on the button that says Manage Galleries under the Gallery tab. And when we go in there, we should see that there is one gallery. We should click on the name of the gallery. And we should scroll down and see that there are thumbnail images of the gallery here. And that you have a section here where you can actually give what's called a title text to the image, and where you can put a description in that will come up with the image itself. You can also put in what are called tags, which are descriptive tags that can be used for search engine optimization. So for example, I could put trains, comma, locomotives, comma, choo-choos, right? And over here I could put big red train, and I could put, this is a picture of a big red train from the famous Lionel Christmas set, right? If you want, feel free to put in some names there, some text, whatever you like. And then when you're done, you can hit the Save Changes button up there. I'll go ahead and put some stuff in just so we can see what's going on. So I'll call this big red train, and this is my train. Okay, and then this one is super train, and then it's really fast. Okay. Okay, now then I'm going to hit the Save Changes button. Okay, so now that we have built a gallery, we've installed a gallery plugin, and by the way, NextGen is one of the best ones out there. We've added a couple pictures, we've put in some details about our images. Now we have to actually add this gallery to a page, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to create a new page and then add the gallery to it. So go to the left-hand side of your website, go roll over Pages, and then roll over the pop-up menu and click on Add New. Okay, so when this page comes up, go ahead and put a title in there. So I'm just going to call this Train Gallery. Okay, now remember that in WordPress, this box right here, this is what I call the content box. It has two different modes. There's what's called text mode when you have this tab clicked, and that shows you these buttons which allow you to type in HTML code, right? And then there's what's called the visual mode, right? Now what you want to do is you want to click on the visual tab to make sure you're in the visual mode. The visual mode shows you the content the way it will appear on your website. Now the reason that this is important is because when you install NextGen Gallery, it installs this button right here, this color button, onto every single page that you create, but only in the visual mode. And this button is how you add a gallery to a page. So find that little color button, far right side in visual mode, with the two little panels, click on it, and this screen will come up. It will take sometimes a week, a full week, to come up. The button is called, if you roll your mouse over it, it'll say Next Gen. Now, I need to give you fair warning, okay? This window has all kinds of options to allow you to create different types of galleries. If you look here, you can create what's called a NextGen Basic Thumbnail Gallery, which shows you little thumbnail pictures, and then you click on them to see blow-ups. You can create a slideshow, something called an image browser, a tag cloud, so on and so forth. Now this window, even though it has a ton of features, it can be very confusing. I had a student who used this last semester, and it took us all semester to figure out how to use this frickin' window, right? So, you know, if you have trouble with NextGen, it's not because the software is bad, it's because this window is a little hard to understand, right? I'm going to walk through it with you right now, and after you've done it a few times, hopefully you'll get it. So the way this window works is each one of these gray sections is a pop-up menu that you have to go into and make choices. Then when you're done, your gallery will appear. So the first choice is what display type we want to use, and I'd like us to leave it at the default. Okay? Now I'd like you to go down and click on the black arrow next to the second, which is called what would you like to display? Okay? So click on that, and then it says sources equals galleries. Click on that drop-down menu where it says galleries. Oh, it's not there. Okay, click your button inside of the galleries box, and you should see the name of your gallery appear underneath. So go ahead and click on that. Okay, so right now mine says trains, right? Next, click on the arrow for customize the display settings. And notice that there are a bunch of options in here for things you can do, like there's a link called show slideshow, which you can turn on or off, and other things which you can turn on or off. I'm going to leave it on right now. I normally turn it off. And then finally, click on the last arrow, and this will tell you, you can actually tell by clicking on the checkboxes next to certain images, you can exclude those from the gallery, right? So, actually this was a lot easier than I thought. Hopefully it'll be easier for you guys. Go ahead and click on the Save button at the bottom. And what you should see after a few minutes is you should see a big image appear. Now don't be concerned what image appears. It just grabs the first image and puts it in there to tell you that you effectively put your gallery in. Go ahead and click on the blue Publish button on the right-hand side. And give that a chance to update. And after it's updated, in the center top of your screen, you will see a link called View Page. Go ahead and click on that. And it should take you to the new web page you created with the gallery, which will be 2 little thumbnail images. So once you get there, scroll down, click on the first image, and it should blow up into what's called a blow up image. And then you can roll over it. If you roll over to the right side of the screen, there should be an arrow that appears, and you can click on that, and it will go to the second image. And of course, the reverse is true. You can click on the left-hand side when you're on the second image and go back to the first. Now notice also that it puts your, by default, it puts your description down here. You can turn that off if you want or not put in anything. And the alt text for this picture, if I right-clicked on it and said View Image Info, let's see, somewhere in here, I don't know where the heck it is, but it's going to say Big Red Train. So that's just kind of like a alternate text to the image, right? Now, if you want to close the image, you can click on the red or the X in the top right corner, and it will close the gallery. Now, this is a very sophisticated photo gallery. It is responsive, which means that it will resize according to the size of your screen, whether it's a phone or a tablet. And these guys are the best, pretty much the best out there, and it's free. Now, there is a pro version that you can step up to for X amount of dollars per month or a year, and it gives you even more bang for your buck. But this is a great gallery, and I highly recommend it for anybody who wants to do anything with slideshows or photos. Okay, so this is something you can use for your websites. All right. Did that answer any of your questions? Yeah, okay, good. All right, so let's go, let's do a little review of the things that you're going to need for your website to turn in 2 weeks. In Adobe Acrobat here, I believe somewhere in Acrobat, I'm clicking on it, it's not coming up. Okay, I'm going to go back to the website and I'm going to click on Project 1, and it's going to launch, and it's going to, just a reminder of what you're going to need. So one of the things that I wanted you guys to do was wireframes, which are just little sketches for your website. Did anybody happen to get that done already? Did you get it done? Is it in any sort of digital format, or is it just a paper?
Well, I did it on graph paper.
Do you have it with you?
Yeah.
Can we see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless I did it. I'm going to give you 2 minutes.
Okay. All right, these are great. Wow. Excellent. Okay. So Brooks did a really nice job doing a wireframe, and I'm just going to go ahead and pass that around the classroom. And everybody's wireframe is going to be different. You can do one that has little stick men on it if that's your level of drawing ability, or you could do one in a computer using Photoshop or Illustrator. Whatever you need to do to give yourself a little map of the website, right? So I'd like you to do one of those, and I'd like you to turn that in with the project, okay? And you can look at Brooks's. His is a good example of one that's very thorough. Okay, now the next thing I want you to do, and of course I'm reviewing from last week, and there's a couple reasons I'm doing that, just to give you a chance to get this information in, but also we're videotaping it, so it'll be on the website if you need to look at it. And also, I want you guys to know you're free to ask any questions while I do this, so I can sort of flesh out the information you need to know. Okay, so what you need to do is come up with a theme for your website, so it's like Frankie's Dog Cleaning or Jaime's Candy Crush website, whatever. And then you need to think of the colors and the design and the look and feel for your website. So let's go back to the website that I started here. And I'll go back and we'll notice that one of the things I want you to do is put in some sort of a background, right? So we can see from my website here that I've got a green color background. If I go log into my dashboard, I roll over this little link here and I go to the background section. You'll see that I can easily select a color for my background by clicking where it says background color and select color. And what I get there is a color picker. I can move my little circle anywhere that I want and get a color, and then I can move this bar up and down to get a shade of that color. I can also click these default colors at the bottom, which will put me into that specific color, and then I can get a shade of it and move this thing up and down. When I'm done, I can, you'll see that the hexadecimal number appears right here, which represents that color. It's a combination of 6 letters and numbers with a hashtag in front of it, a pound sign, which the computer reads and understands to be that color to display. Now, one resource that I would like to give you guys, which has been really helpful to me, is a website called Color Lovers. And color is spelled wrong. It's spelled the English way. They don't spell right over there. They put U's and X's and things.
They act like they invented it.
Yes, exactly. I don't know what their deal is. But anyway, Color Lovers, it's an English site, or it was created by someone of that ilk. And what it is it is a website where you can get color palettes, right? And the color palettes that you can get were freely uploaded by designers and color people from all over the world. And you can get much more than color palettes. You can also get design tiles, which you might think of as background tiles, which could be used to put in the background of a website, right? So let's see how this works. You can go up here to the Search Palettes button at the top right, and you can click on that little icon, which is at the far right side of the box, and you can see that you can search for palettes or patterns, pattern templates, shapes, colors, and I guess this is sort of like a love thing. You can find your lover right here. No, I'm just kidding. It's because it's Color Lovers. This is where you can find other people who like colors. So let's go ahead and we're going to search palettes by default. So let's put in a keyword here that will clue us into the palettes, right? I'm going to go ahead and put in 1950s. It's just a time period, right? You could just as easily put in retro or vintage or spring, whatever you want. Click on the little magnifying glass and then scroll down and notice that the results are all of these different color palettes which are reminiscent of the 1950s. Now, I actually used this for a website once, and if you scroll down and you see this one called 50s Kleptomaniac, I actually used that color palette. You can roll over it and it gets a little bigger. I think if you click on it, it gets really big, or it gets medium big, and then you click on it again and it gets ginormous, right? Anyway, I did use this color palette for a website for a man who had a record store that had a vintage 1950s feel to it. And what's great about these color palettes is that certain ones of them you can download. If you click on the color palette and you get to this screen, which shows you the color palette at a medium size, it gives you the statistic on how many people have liked it and downloaded it. Over on the right-hand side, you can see you can get this image in all different kinds of screen sizes, right? And if you roll down, it'll show you some tags that you can use to find it. And if you roll down even more, you'll see a really cool section, which is called download options. And if you click on one of these buttons, you can actually download the palette for a specific program. Like I believe AI is Adobe Illustrator, and you can download that and you can bring it in as its own little Adobe Illustrator color palette. It's very, very cool. So, and I'm not sure what all these are. I know that zip is a zip file. One of these is Photoshop, ACO maybe, I don't remember what it is. But anyway, you can experiment with that. Now, the other thing that you'll see on this site are patterns. For example, let's go back up to the search box and click on the little icon and let's choose patterns. And let's search for, I don't know, just put in flowers or floral or something like that. And then scroll down and you'll see all of these cool patterns, and a lot of these are done as tiles, so you could literally grab one of these patterns, download it, and then upload it as the background image for your WordPress site, and it would tile that in, it would put it in like tiles you would put on your floor, and it would be a seamless pattern that would just show like all these flowers. Okay, so let me see if I can, let me try and get one of these flowers. And oh, this is popping corn. Okay, so let's see if I can get a popping corn tile. Okay, let's see. Click on this. You can see how it looks when it's tiled. See how it's sort of seamless? See if I can copy. I want to see what their secret trick is for copying it fast and easy. Okay, I'm clicking on it. I'm scrolling down. Oh my gosh, my screen. I don't know. I'm just going to click on this 390 by 300 one. You guys can get a pattern if you want. I'm going to click Save File. No, I'll open it and then I'll know where to save it. I just want you to grab a tile so that. Oh, okay. Here's the problem. They put a little ad on this. It says Popping Corn by Step 6. Some of these tiles are for sale. Like this one is probably for sale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this one. This probably won't work out perfectly, but I'll just try it. I'm going to save it on my desktop, and I'm going to put it into the background of my website. Okay, so I'm going to call this popcorn.png. I'm going to save it on my desktop. And now I'm going to open it in Photoshop so I can get rid of that little tag that they put down there. Like I said, it probably won't be a perfect tile, but you'll get the idea. And you can always, there's websites out there that have free tiles, and there's you can buy tiles like this too. Okay, so I'm opening Photoshop so that I can edit this and crop out that bottom area. Like I said, it's probably not going to be perfect, but that's okay. It's just a demo. So, okay, Photoshop is open. I'm going to do File Open and open up my tile that I have on my desktop. So I'm going to go down to Popcorn, Open. Okay, now I'm just going to draw a little, whoa. I'm just going to draw a little marquee around the top part. And I'm going to say Image Crop. So now I just have this. I'm going to do Save for Web and save it as a JPEG on my desktop. And now I'm going to take this image and upload it into the background area of WordPress. So I'm going to click on my tab to go back to that background page, right? And now, instead of putting a color in, I'm going to select an image for my background. So right here at the top, once again we're under Appearance Background in the dashboard. I'm going to click on Browse. I'm going to choose my popcorn file. I'm going to hit Open. and then I'm going to hit the upload button. Now you can see here on my screen that it is in fact not a perfect tile, because if I bought it, then she would give me the perfect tile, but I just kind of stole it, so it's not perfect. But it shows you how the background image will look on your website, and so you can go ahead and leave that like that. Notice if you upload a background image, it also gives you these display options. You can have the image be on the left side of your website. It can be just in the center or the right. You can have it tile, which means it's a small image that repeats and usually has seamless edges. It can tile horizontally, which is just going this way, or tile vertically, which is going this way. And it cannot repeat at all. In other words, it could be just a giant image. And your last choice here, scroll or fixed. What scroll or fixed means is when somebody scrolls down the website, does the image stay stationary or does the image move with it, right? So, and you can experiment with those. I'm going to go ahead and hit my Save Changes button, and we're going to see this really funky bad background to my website. We're going to see just a little of it right there at the top because my website is so small, right? But this is how you can put an image in the back of your website. And like I said, it could be a small image that's tiled, or it could be a ginormous image. Now, a ginormous image has some advantages and disadvantages. What's one disadvantage of ginormity? Slow download, right? Okay. What is one advantage of a really cool big picture? It's really cool and big, right? Okay. So, pros and cons. So, for your background, choose either a color or an image that is appropriate to your website. Yes?
So those images on color lovers are...
I think most of the patterns on Color Lovers are for sale, but the palettes are not. You can download a palette and use those colors in your website. And the way you would use it is maybe you'd use one color as the background, another color for the header font color, another color for the subheads, another color you might put into your logo for your business, and so on and so forth, right? If you want to find free images to tile, you can go to Google and you could say free tile images for websites, and you'll find some. Let's see. Here's one called Backgrounds, Textures, Patterns, and Seamless Tiled Images. Backgrounds, Textures, and Images Library free download. So we'll go to this one. Hopefully it'll be a good one. Let's see. Oh, they put a big ad up in front of me. That's always fun. Let me try and find that. Open Directory, free web backgrounds. Okay, so here's one that has backgrounds by color. I don't know. Background archives. Okay, so you can see, I mean, they're just all over the web, but these are all tiles, and you could have bricks or fabric or animals or whatever you want, right? So search around, you can find some cool stuff to put back there. Okay, I think I'm going to give you guys a little break, and then we'll come back and talk some more about web design. Okay, so we're starting up again. Now, during the break, Max, one of our students, Max, asked me about how he could take some of these page names and shift them around so they could be in a different order. And so that's going to bring us to the issue of what are called menus. So what I'm going to do is take this as an opportunity to show you how to create menus and how to work with them. So let's log into the dashboard of our website. And then let's roll over the word appearance. And then let's roll over and come down and click on the word menus. Now, I'm going to have to look at somebody's website here to see what they've got. Okay. All right, so what you guys all have, it looks similar to mine, is over here you have something called a menu structure. and it has a list of all the pages that are currently showing up on your website, right? Now, what you can do is scroll down a little bit, and you'll see two buttons here, right? One of them says automatically add new top-level pages to this menu. If you check that button, anytime you create a new page, it's going to add it. Are you using a different theme than 2012? Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna have to come back here first. Oh, you don't have it either?
Oh, wait. You guys don't have it.
Press create menu, it does.
Oh, yeah.
Can you do create menu? It doesn't?
Yeah.
Which one did you click?
It will blank here, it's a create menu right here.
Oh, is there a button called create
Yeah.
menu?
Yeah.
Click the button called create menu. Okay, that's okay. All right, so so then you get this to open up, and I would recommend checking both of these boxes here. Automatically add new top level pages, and make this the primary menu, which is the menu at the top, and then click the Save Menu button. Now, what you should see is a list of all the pages that you have on your site. If you want to change the order of the way that these pages show up on your menu, the way this is listed from the top down is equivalent to the front of your website going from the left to the right. So the top one should be the one on the most left on your website, and so on and so forth. If you want to change the order of these, simply click on one of the boxes that has the name of one of your pages, hold your left mouse button down on it, and drag that box up above another box or below another box to move a menu item. Then click Save Menu. And then go look at the front end of your web page. And you can see on my web page here that now my archives page is the first page, followed by the other three. Now if I go back to my menu section by hitting the back arrow, and now I take my archives page and I click on it and I drag it to the very bottom, and I hit Save Menu, and now I go back to the front end, you'll see that now archives is at the very end. Now, this menu section is really great. It allows you to very quickly and easily make multiple menus for your website and to move the pages around. In addition, it will very easily allow you to make what are called submenus, which are pages that come up underneath other pages. For example, I have a page here called Form, and these are what are called top-level pages, which means they're all on the top level, they're all visible on the navigation bar. Well, let's say that I didn't want this form to be a top-level page. Let's say I wanted it to be a page that came up after you rolled over products page, so a subpage of that. I could simply click on that box and drag it to the right so that it is indented underneath the products page. Then when I hit Save Menu, it will say that configuration, and I can go back to the front end of my website. Now you'll see I have 3 top-level pages because Form is no longer on there. And when I roll over Products page, you can see that Form comes up as a sub-page. Okay? So the menus function is extremely powerful. Okay. So let's go back to talking a little bit about the things that you need to do for your assignment. So we've gone in, we've changed the background color, we put in a background image, and you can do either or both of those things, right? The next thing is to create a header image in a program like Photoshop and upload it. Now we did that last time. You can see that we have like I have my dogs up here, and we last time we simply made that image in Photoshop. We made it the size that's recommended in this software here, which was I think 960 by 250, something like that. Let me go look real quick. Click on this and click on header, and yeah, they recommend that you make your image 960 pixels wide by 250 pixels high. I made that image and I just hit browse and chose it, and then hit upload, and then hit the save changes at the bottom. Now, you might try out a couple of different images. Notice that I have 3 images in here, and I think what happened with these other ones was they were the wrong size, and I finally got it right on this one. But you can upload multiple headers, and you can change which one you want to appear at the top of the website at any time, or you could even check this random button and have it pick a different image to show on every page that you go to. Okay? Is there anyone that would like to see that process again of uploading an image, or are you all pretty comfortable with that? Okay, good. So now we'll go to the next thing that is asked on the website. Project, let's see. Okay, so that's the header. Okay, we say add color to some of your headline text to have it tie in with your design. For example, if you have a blue background on your website, you might make the H1 largest headline tag appear in blue. Okay, so we did that by using our style sheet. So let's go back and look at our style sheet and what we can do there. The way you access the style sheet is, once again, you go into the dashboard, you roll over appearance, and then you come down and click on editor, and you get your style sheet, right? The first thing that comes up is the style sheet for your theme, right? Now what we did last time was we put in this code right here. I think we put in something called red headline. Is that what we did? Or we did H1? Okay. We did an H1 tag. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. It's this one down here that we put in. We put in H1, then we put in curly bracket, color, colon, red, exclamation point, important, semicolon, and then we close the curly bracket. And that has the effect of making every H1 tag on the site appear red. Now there's 6 different headers or headline sizes that we could use, H1 through 6. H1 is the largest, H6 is the smallest. So let's do this again with the next headline color, just to sort of refresh your memories. Let's click underneath. Let's click our mouses underneath that H1 code that we did, and now let's type H2 curly bracket, enter. Let's say color, colon, space, blue, semicolon. Let's hit enter, and let's do one more thing. Let's say font dash size, colon, space. I'm sorry, I'm going to bring this up. I'm going to try and bring this up so it's a little higher there. And let's put 48px, semicolon, hit return, and then the curly bracket to close it off. Okay, so what we've done is we've just sort of repeated the idea of what we did last time, this time with an H2 tag. We made it blue, and we made it so that it's going to be pretty big. Now, once you've typed that text in there, that CSS style, go ahead and hit Update File. Did everybody get that, or does anybody need me to leave the code here for a second longer? Okay. So now let's go back. We need to go to one of our pages and put in an H2 tag. So let's go over to the left-hand side, scroll up a little bit, and click on Pages. Now, you guys are going to have slightly different pages than what I have, so I'm just going to pick one. I'll just pick, let's see, I'm just going to pick this page called Form because I know that it's showing up on my website currently. Pick any page that you want. It's a real page on your website. When you get to that page, make sure that you click on the Text tab so that you are now in the area of the content box where you can type HTML code. Then go ahead and hit your enter button a couple times after your content. Type angle bracket H2 angle bracket and type whatever you want. I'm typing whoop-de-doo. And then type angle bracket / H2 close angle bracket. Okay, so we've made an H2 tag, we've put some text in there, we've closed the tag off. Now hit the blue update button. And now if we go and click View Page, now mine didn't change, did yours? Okay, now let's go back, hit your back button, a couple times until you get back to, keep hitting your back button until you get back to the CSS style sheet. And I'd like somebody to tell me what's the difference between what we did last time and what we did this time. Important, right. So in other words, in the H1 tag that we did last time, we put color red and then we put exclamation point important, which means that this color, this style right here, overrides the existing styles. That's what important means. Well, in our H2 we didn't do that, which means that the style that existed before we came along, which is black, stayed. So now I need you to go down to where that word blue is, put your cursor right after it, hit the space button, hit the exclamation point, and type the word important. Then I need you to hit the blue update file button. And now go back and look, you're going to have to locate the page where you made that change. And you're also going to have to probably hit your refresh button. And it still doesn't work. Okay, did any of yours work?
Yeah.
Did raise your hand if it worked. Okay, so it was sort of an uneven. All right, let's see what we can see. Text H2, that's all correct. Okay, let me go back to appearance editor. Oh, I think I know why mine didn't work. I think I have to do it in a slightly different place. Let's see. H2, color blue, important. Check all your code. Make sure that it is typed correctly. I'm going to go back to my style sheet and put it here. Hit update. Let's see if it works. Okay, it did work. So whoever it didn't work for, bring up your code and let me take a look at it. Okay. Make sure you hit your refresh button. Bring up your style sheet code and let me take a look. You got it to work?
No.
You did or you didn't?
Did not.
Okay. So put up work. Oh, this is your problem. You have a semicolon. Okay, you hit update button. Okay, let me see. You have the same problem. You guys need to stop trusting each other. Don't trust either of these people. Raise your hand if you did get it to work and I'll help you. Did it not work for? Oh, I know what it is. Okay, what it is this, this has to be done in the text because that's where you put HTML code. Okay, update that. Okay, raise your hand if it didn't work. Okay. All right, so just an example. Now, obviously, there's much, much more you can do with CSS code than that. That's just an example. I want you to start to get your feet wet. Okay, let's see what else, what other mischief we can get into. Okay, so we've now done that third thing. Okay, it says upload images that work with your design and add text to your pages. Okay, so once again, we'll just go and show you how to upload an image to your page and also to the media library. I'll show you two different ways to do that. So I'm assuming you still have those images on your desktop that we use for the gallery. Let's use those. So go ahead and what I'd like you to do is notice when you're logged into WordPress, you get this black bar at the top of WordPress, which is called the admin bar. That doesn't show up for anybody else except you when you're logged in. But it has some very cool features. One thing is, if you roll your mouse over this plus new sign at the top, you can literally make a new post or a new page or add new media or even add a new user to the site just by clicking on one of these buttons here. Also, whatever page you're on, you can click on Edit Page and it will take you into the dashboard for that page, right? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to add some new media. So go ahead and roll over that new and then come down and click on Media, and it will take you into what's called the Media Library. Now the Media Library is very, very powerful. It serves as sort of an archive for a lot of your content, imagery, music, videos, basically anything except pure text can go in this media library. Once you get into the media library, click on Select File, then navigate to your desktop and find one of those images and hit Open, like I'm just uploading one of my trains, right? Okay, and you should see a little thumbnail picture of your image. Now, right now what we're in is the Upload New Media dialog box here, but I'd like you to now go over to the left-hand side and underneath Media, click on Library. And you will notice that this library shows all of the media that you have uploaded. Now, question?
Mine doesn't show the things I added to the gallery.
That is correct, and it's a good question actually. The images that you upload to the gallery are uploaded into a different section of WordPress, and so they don't show up in the media library. They're in a different folder. Yeah, NextGen has its own folder structure. Okay. All right, so you can see a little thumbnail, which means your image is now in the media library, which means it can be used anywhere in your site. Now this is good for something like logos. You could upload a logo to your media library, and then any page you wanted the logo on, you could just go to the page and bring it in from the media library and drop it in there. So let's do something like that. Now let's go over to our pages on the left-hand side and just click on the Pages button. And now I'd like you to choose a page, any page you want that's showing up on the front of your website. I'm going to choose the Form page. And this time I'd like you to go click on the Visual tab. Now the text and the visual tabs are used for different things. The text tab is used for HTML coding. The visual tab is basically used for everything else. All these buttons are really useful when you're adding content. There's a bold and italics button. There's bullet points. There's alignment. There's text color. There's an eraser here, an undo and a redo feature, special characters, so on and so forth, right? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to add an image in here. So go ahead and click right before your text, right to the left of all of your text, and then click Add Media, the big button at the top left. And notice that it gives you a choice up here via tabs to either upload a brand new file or to use something from the media library. So click on the media library tab, click on that image that you just uploaded, the thumbnail view of that. Over here it's going to let you put in some details about your attachment. You can put in a caption. Let's go ahead and put in a caption so we can see what that looks like. Okay. Now scroll down on this page because there's some other important stuff here. If you scroll down, it will show you that you can align this image to either the left or the right. Okay, I'm going to leave mine left. It says link to, and it can link to the original media file, but I'm going to click on that drop down and choose none because I don't really want people to click on this little image and see it blow up. And then under size, it gives you several choices. You can click on the drop down and choose basically small, medium, large, or full size, right? I'm gonna leave mine a thumbnail. And then when you're done making all those choices, click your Insert into Page button. And your image now pops up. For those of you that know CSS, what it's doing is something called a float left command, which means it's floating the image to the left and wrapping text around it and putting a little bit of margin to the right so the text doesn't touch the picture. Okay, and you can see that the caption appears underneath. Now go ahead and hit Update, the blue Update button. And when it's done updating, up at the top of your screen, click View Page. This is how you get imagery and other media files like music and video, PDFs, PowerPoints into your website. Okay, so I'd like you to do that. I'd also like you to add text to your website. so that it looks fleshed out and real. So I'm asking you to make at least a home page and 2 other pages that demonstrate the flavor of your website that tie in with your theme. Okay? Now, I'm going to open the floor for questions. Does anybody have questions about how to do things that they might like to do with their website? Does anybody have questions about physics problems? Questions about what's coming up on the next episode of Under the Gun? Oh, you have a question? Well, I think that what's going to happen is there's going to be a runoff between all the fashion designers, and then one of the mentors is going to get tossed. Okay, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Jesus. Except for you. Yeah, 2 weeks. You guys have rodeo off.
Tell him he has to come on rodeo day.
2 weeks, 2 weeks. Any other questions? You're just stretching. You're not questioning anything. Okay. All right. You guys feel pretty good about being able to knock out a website?
Yeah.
Okay. Good answer.
Great.
Yep. Okay. I'll come over there in just a second. Okay. So you guys go ahead and work on these things. In 2 weeks, I'm going to expect a wireframe from you, which you're going to need to, if you drew it, you're going to need to scan it in. I'm going to need a digital file. And we're going to look at these websites that you worked on in class and give critiques. Okay? You guys are good to go.